Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, various genders from across the world, welcome to the world-famous Packcast, brought to you by the Wicked Wolves Gaming. I hope you are doing well. It's lovely to see you, lovely to speak to you, and it's an honor to be your host. My name, Zubair Asgar, aka Big Z Bear, as you can see down here, if I can point to it properly. There we go, Big Z Bear. So, we are coming back to you with a thrilling and enticing and interesting topic that we will be introducing shortly. Before I can do that, however, I must continue and introduce our guests one by one. So they are an interesting crowd. You already know so much about me. I shall stop talking about me and pass the microphone over to a guest who has appeared on the show before. His name, Bearded Viking. Bearded Viking, where are you?
Hello, I'm right
Hola.
here.
Hola, mi amor. ¿Cómo está, señore? I don't know why I'm speaking Spanish. But hey, lovely to speak to you. Lovely to see you again. Thank you for coming back and joining us today for the show. What I'd like to ask is, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and I'm just going to tell the people a little bit about myself. I am, as you said, the Bearded Viking. I am the IGL for the Overwatch team on PS4. Obviously, I play Overwatch. I like games like Dark Souls, survival games like Ark, and I'm going to say a little tidbit about myself that people might not know is I like to go in the forest, with nothing and create primitive tools like stone axes, picks, hammers, shelters. I like to stay there and cook food, just have a good day.
Like a proper going back to roots, back to, sort of primal sort of, there's a word that I'm forgetting, but never mind. So have you got any of those tools you can show us sometime?
No, I usually leave them there. So every time I go out, I start over.
Oh, damn, son. That's like starting a video game right from the start without taking all your benefits with you the next time round.
It is, but it just, once you get your food, you just feel so accomplished. You've not only have you made the fire, but you cut the wood with a tool that you made. Sometimes I catch my own food as well. But,
damn, son. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the most macho individual of the gaming crew. I might just be good for my beard, but this guy, if he gets his hand on you, he will break you on too. My God, that is so awesome to hear. I still can't get over that because I'm thinking of like video games and once you clock the game, you're supposed to take your special abilities from the start and play it again like you do in Dark Souls. But never mind. That's my opinion. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to you, my good friend Bearded Viking. I would like for you to introduce our guests, please.
Perfect. Yeah, let's start with our first guest. We're going to go and talk to Life of Phil.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
Yes, I'm not too bad. Yes, I'm Life of Phil. My name is Phil. I'm the web development specialist for the Wolves, and I am also a competitive player for the Warzone team. So obviously, I play Warzone. I do like a few battle royales, not all of them. They don't all take my fancy, but I also like to play some Rocket League, some FIFA, and some simulators on the side. And fun fact about me is I also produce music. So yeah.
Ooh, he produces music. What type of music do you produce?
Mainly rap.
Get out.
Rap.
The most upper class white Brit produces rap. That's so. You might not be upper class, but you come across as that. It's a compliment.
So I'll show you the Spotify afterwards.
Oh, awesome! I was gonna say we gotta hear some samples before the day is done, right? So you get your samples ready. We will bug you for one of your cool ones, okay, dude?
All right.
I mean, what got you into producing the music?
So it was. I do it with a friend. We co-produce, and it's just something that. It's always just a way that you can give us a beat, Phil. I'll hop on a track. Fair play. No worries. It's just a way to. It's just a way to outsource your feelings and your thoughts, kind of thing. So even if you don't produce a song as such, like even if you don't put it out to the public, just being able to go to the studio and just talk about whatever's on your mind in a different type of way on top of a beat, it just like releases all of like stress and tension that you may have on yourself.
So it's kind of like a therapeutic journey like you're going on when you do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So do you only make the music or do you also write lyrics for them?
I mainly do the lyrics. It's my friend that does the beat side of things.
Oh, okay. So it's the.
Okay. We have to hear you rapping as well now. That'll be interesting. You realize that, along with Mike, I might have to jump on a tune or two once upon in the future sometime. That'll be pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It'll be my
Ace
pleasure.
of Spades. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome.
I
Awesome.
haven't done it in
Right.
a long time, but I'd be down for it too.
Yeah, that's it, right? We need one standard Wicked Wolves track that everybody can have a little go on. We'll end up with a song that's like 45 minutes long, but everyone has their turn, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Go to minute 37. That's me. They'll be telling people to do that. All right. So we're done with Life of Phil. It's awesome to see you, Life of Phil. So who's next, Mr. Viking?
Our next guest will be Captain Toothless. Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, what's happening, troops? How's it going?
Hey, good. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, man, I'm smashing, chilling. Nice, chill Sunday.
Perfect. How about you tell us about yourself?
So, like I said, my name's Captain Toothless, also better known as Scott. I'm currently the in-game leader for the competitive Warzone team within Wicked Wolves Gaming. I am a PS4. Welcome, Z-Bear. I'm not a PS4. That's a bit of a weird saying. I play PS4.
Where do we plug in the controller?
Yeah, so as you probably guess, I'm a BR kind of guy. So you're old school Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. Big into the Assassin's Creed games as well. Can't wait for the Valhalla one coming out later this year. Bearded Viking, you're probably going to be excited about that as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Definitely.
You know what? I know they're not usually multiplayer, but I really hope they are. Just being there with your friends behind the shield wall.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Glorious.
But yeah, just a few random facts about me. I'm an ex-rugby player for a small team based in Scotland. I say the word ex because people can remember from last week. I am injured and no longer able to play again. But I am also a big, massive Marvel fan. Love it.
Who's your favorite?
It's got to be Iron Man. Iron Man was the first ever movie I watched of the Marvel franchise. I believe, on my memories on Facebook today, it was 11 years ago today, which is quite weird to bring up.
Today? Oh, wow.
Of all times. But yeah, I was one of the guys that read all the comic books secretly. So nobody, I was trying to be cool at school, you know what I'm saying? One of the secret cool nerds. Yeah, so I read all the comic books.
Oh, how awesome is that? You read Marvel before it was cool. You can genuinely say that.
You know what I mean?
It was always cool, but still, yeah.
That's it. But the moment I seen the end credits after Iron Man, I knew that the franchise was going to blow up, and that got me giddy like a little schoolgirl. And also, Endgame came out about this time last year. Fantastic, absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, it's such a good movie.
I tell you what, I'm going to quiz you if you're such a Marvel fan. Which was the Marvel movie that really launched the concept of the universe? I mean, I'm wording it wrong, but I think you understand what I'm saying when I say it. The first Marvel movie that really gave a vision to the Marvel cinematic universe, that gave hope to it, that infused power into it.
Talking the big picture, we're probably looking at the first ever Avengers Assemble.
No, sorry, you're misunderstanding my question. Before even because Iron Man launched the MCU that we know today, right?
Yeah.
Right. So before even the MCU started, there was it's old now, right? It's a couple of decades old now. One Marvel movie that gave potential, that gave vigor to the concept of having an MCU.
Was it the Spider-Man film?
It's even before that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the Marvel fan has failed. It was actually Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Oh, Blade, of course.
Oh! Without Wesley Snipes being Blade 2, there was only 2 movies that we don't talk about Trinity. Right? Blade and Blade 2 launched the whole concept of the world that, MCU could do something. So, I got one on you that you don't. But then again, I'm a movie nerd, so there we go. Right. Mr. Viking, sorry, I just thought I'd steal a landmine from you. Sorry, Mr. Marvel Nerd. Go ahead, please introduce our next guest.
All right, and next up we have Tempest.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad, thank you.
Oh, good. How about let's hear a little bit about you.
Okay, so guys, I'm Finn, also known as Tempest. I play PlayStation all the time. I'm a content creator for WWG. I'm also part of the Warzone competitive team. Weird fact about me is that I play NFL for a team, and that's about it.
Which team is that? Which team is that?
And they're called the Colchester Gladiators.
The who?
The Gladiators?
I didn't hear the Gladiators. Did you say the Gladiators?
The Colchester Gladiators.
Oh, the Colchester Gladiators. That's awesome. How long have you been with the Colchester Gladiators, homie?
About 3 years.
Awesome. That's very cool. That's very cool, dude. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that must be very good. So thank you very much. How long have you been with the Wolves now?
For about 2 months, I think.
2 months. Awesome.
Not long.
Not too long, right? And how are you finding it so far? How did you get your way onto the Wicked Wolves, and how are you finding it so far?
So I literally one day I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw an advert of like, I'm gonna do that, and it's turned out since.
The rest is history. One time, you know what, dudes?
Yes,
One time I'm going to ask it. It would be really funny if I ask a guy, how are you finding the Wicked Wolves? And the guy says, it's crap. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Bye. It's just like, why are you still here? No, that's awesome then. I mean, that's good to hear. Finn or Phil? Finn. No, we've only got one Phil.
Finn.
I'm sorry, we've only got one Phil. You have to be Finn. So awesome to see you, Finn. Thank you very much for coming onto the show. Finn is a first timer. Everybody else is at least a second timer. Phil is a third timer because he's just so awesome, aren't you, Phil? Don't answer.
Absolutely.
All right. So, dudes, ladies and gentlemen across the world, topic I asked our guests and my guest host to talk about is games, funnily enough, but in particular, video games that really make us really, kind of like send chills through our body, the type of video games that you want to come back to again and again, the ones that drill a memory socket into your brain and will never go anywhere. What makes games great? That's what we want to talk about today. You guys in chat, we'll keep an eye on chat. Let's have a look here. Now, in terms of whatever opinions you may have in the video games world, we will touch on those topics as well. If you mention a suggestion that we will take on. So if one of you guys keep an eye on the YouTube feed, first thing you thought about when I asked you to get this thing prepared.
I'm gonna say the first thing I thought about was all the great games that I played throughout the years. trying to decide what made, trying to pick what made them great. And one of the things for me personally, I like difficulty in my games.
Difficulty?
Yeah, like when I play stuff like God of War, for instance, which was an amazing game story-wise, just the mechanics of it, the new God of War and the old ones. I always put it on the hardest difficulties. Always. Games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and even like I might time myself and make myself sound very, very old right now, but Demon Souls,
Oh, yeah.
On the PS3 was just it was so difficult, and I like that. That's just something for me. Difficulty and story mixed together just makes for such a great game.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me for the guy who makes his freaking tools from scratch every time he goes out into the forest. When you go out to the forest, you still wear your clothes, yeah? You don't make your own clothes as well. Go out and look for clothes and skin an animal and make underwear. All right, no, that doesn't make sense. That does make sense for a guy of your caliber when it comes to gaming. Okay, that makes sense. What about Phil? What you got to say when it comes to games?
So games is what makes a game good is, in my opinion, is the experience that you've had with it. I'm
sorry, Peter, just looking at you like he can actually see you. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody just look at Phil. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all about the experience that you've had with the game. So, and it's all down to your personal taste, because me, for example, I've long and still will go back to a game called Euro Truck Simulator 2. that is a simulator game, and that's just because of the amount of fun times that I've had with friends, literally just driving around in trucks doing a convoy, and also going back to playing like the original Halo on the original Xbox, like the big square box, like those kind of memories just stick with you. And like the people that you play those games with, like say for example, if you've played those games with family to get through the campaign, that's also something that's going to stick like to your heart and to your brain. So in my opinion, it's all down to what games you like as a person. So for example, somebody that likes first person shooters and are solely just first person shooters, so they're going to enjoy like Call of Duty campaigns that are just amazing. Whereas for example, somebody me personally, I like both. I can venture in both. But if somebody's just a strong simulator where they just enjoy simulation games, they're not going to as much enjoy first-person shooters. So it's all down to personal taste and their personal experiences that they've had with those previous games.
Okay, I mean, for you, obviously, just never mind the truck simulator. You just talk about Halo and how, as a family, you all sat down to help clock the campaign together. I mean, so it wasn't even just the game; it was the memory there that you had. That's an awesome memory to be with your family. Xbox or not, just to have that memory, that's amazing. That's going to sit with you for life. And in time in the future, you're not even going to remember the Halo. You're just going to remember the time you were with your family, right? So that's amazing. That's an amazing, interesting point there. I have a similar experience, but I'll bring it to my point later. We're going to hand it over to Mr. Toothless. So, Mr. Toothless, what about you? What do you think makes games good? What kind of game do you think when I asked you that question? Oh, before I ask you that, I would like to say Isabella LeBlanc is calling you really old, Mr. Viking Beard. And I think we can both empathize because I've got white hair as well. So, Isabella, that's not a diss. Nah. After you, Captain Toothless.
Yeah, what makes a great game for me, it has to be the storyline. I need to be captivated straight away with the game. I remember playing, and it just shows how bad this game was. I can't even remember the title of it. It was like a war game that I was trying to copy off Call of Duty, Flashpoint, Red Dragon, I don't know. And the storyline was dead. It was horrible. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story to start off with, and the reason why I love story modes. And this is the passionate side of me. When I was about 11 years old, I had my friend Dale, shout out Dale if he's in the chat, and he came round to my house, and it was the first time I'd ever got Assassin's Creed, the first ever one. Story was probably about, 14 hours, something along that line. And we got it about 5 o'clock from Blockbusters. That's how old I am, all right? Blockbusters, and we rented it for the weekend. Now, I'd been up early. We'd played it a good few hours. We kind of got through a little bit. Got about 11 o'clock, and I was shattered. I needed my kit. So I fell asleep. Then woke up about 6 o'clock in the morning to hear my TV, hear some music, and I look over to my TV, and there's credits rolling. And I was like, oh, Dale must have put a movie on. Fell back asleep, woke up 2 hours later. Here's Dale, controller in hand, TV's on. Like, wait a second. Went into the story mode. My best mate had only went and completed the whole entire game without knowing what happened. I was furious. If you're watching, you're not forgiving you.
Oh, that's so atrocious.
Oh,
That's like your partner finishing off a Netflix series without you. That's how bad that is.
Oh, that is exactly what it's like.
That is so bad.
Downstairs done that to me now. I'd be taking the dog and I'd be going. Not happening again.
Yeah. Shame if you're watching.
If you're in the chat, you have to explain yourself. Otherwise, yes, as Viking Good said, shame on you. Shame. Atrocious. My God. Although, thank you for that memory for Blockbusters. That was an amazing place to rent video games. I used to do the same thing. I didn't even buy video games. I'd rent them for a week and then I'd return them because, that's how I clocked them.
But
awesome.
Definitely have to be story mode. Story is definitely, it's got to get you captivated in it. I still look back at Modern Warfare 2, the story mode with General Shepard. Just don't even go back. That still mentally scarred me. The kids, we all went to school, high school, coming in the next day. Then we played the General Shepard mission yet. No, I betrayed you. And there'll be people in this chat just now that will agree with that. Like the General Shepard thing has to be one of the biggest, with heel terms, in-game display.
Wait, remind me, what happened with the General Shepard thing? Was that when he launched the nuke?
No, so that is when he was trying to get the codes for the nuke, and you're playing as Roach.
Oh, you walk up to the helicopter.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, that was a hole in the heart.
Heartbreaking.
That was amazingly. That was for a video game. That was pretty impressive. That's up there. That's up there for campaigning. Absolutely, I agree with that. Awesome. So
it had a lot of good moments as well, like the no Russian mission in the airport.
But
that was painful too.
No.
You know,
that kind of crossed the borderline between what is real life at the time and what is the gaming world, and it got a lot of people talking about it. Yeah, again, I keep saying every time I'm on here, the business word. That was a business play, and I think they played it very well with the option of you don't have to play this mission if you don't want to. But yet again, that captivated not only people in the gaming world, but got people in the real world talking about it as well.
See, I don't remember that option when I first played it. This is a thing, I've heard this before. I don't remember being offered an option to play this mission or not. I thought I had to. This is the one where you gun down the civilians in the airport, right? Yeah. Now, the funny thing about that point is, obviously being a Muslim man, as you can tell, I'm a bit more religious as well. There were genuinely scholars, right, around doing the round saying, really, you guys are playing video games and killing civilians off? What is that doing for your mental state and your mind? And I thought, no, you don't, chill out, yo, don't worry, it's just a sad video game. But then it got really serious because my first point of contact with scholars, where I was in Pakistan at the time. But then on the blogosphere, if you like, never mind religious scholars, freaking shrinks and the like were going on saying this could really knock people senseless, really. This is a challenge, but that was the whole point of a story, is to challenge you. A good story can, really rock you to the core and challenge you. So yeah, absolutely. I agree with Viking on that one.
Yeah, and the thing is you don't have to shoot anybody. You have an option to walk through. Right?
You just watch other people do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the point was that you were undercover, right? So when you're undercover, it just shows. Yeah, I think what it meant to do is to show people that played that when you're undercover, you got to do whatever it takes to not blow your cover. And you hear stories about that in real life as well, where cops have talked about what they had to do to not break cover, right? And that was the point of that mission. It was. But most people didn't shoot. Most people didn't choose to just walk through, though.
Nobody with a 14-year-old didn't have much of a choice back then.
Yeah. I mean, the latest one is with the latest realm now with the Call of Duties is what with the baby scene, apparently, the baby in the cot.
Yeah.
And if you shoot the baby in the cot and it says, "Are you serious?" or something like that.
If you do it 3 times, the game will turn around to you and will go, "Are you serious?" Like,
wow. That is bad, yo. All right, that's awesome. Thanks, man. That's a good memory there with the Modern Warfare one. So I'm going to bring it over to Finn, sitting below me. Finn, sitting there comfortably. Go us. So when I told you that this is what we're looking about with games, what was it? What was the first thought you thought?
First thing about games that I like is it has to be fun. Like, you can't play them if they're not fun, obviously. But with the games like Fortnite and the new Call of Duty being out with Warzone, it always seems like every single game is jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon. So I still quite like the games that aren't on the bandwagon of Battle Royales. Like, I still play Madden and stuff like that, but I still always go back to Fortnite for some random reason. And I've always said, all right, I'm not playing it, and then the next day I'll be back on it playing it. So it's something about that it needs to be captivating. Like, it needs to be something about the game that you always come back to.
All right. So could you put a finger on what makes you? I mean, I totally agree. I tried Apex once for like an hour. Every time I landed, I just kept getting killed. If I was lucky to pick up an armor and pick up a gun, and then that was it. Like 2 minutes later, I'd be dead. I'm just like, how the hell do you guys play this game? I'm just a noob. I don't know how to play these games, right? So I absolutely agree with Battle. I just never mind the fact that I'm salty, but genuinely, I just don't get the Battle Royale thing. And then when you think about it, it's obviously a business investment because when you're in Battle Royale, people buy stuff like crazy, don't they? They buy these skins, they buy the extra guns, they buy this and they buy that. That's where they get the money from, right? That's where they mint it. But having said that, what do you think drags you back to Fortnite every time? Even though you said I'm not going to play it again, but then you're on it the next day. What is it like?
I don't know. It's like it's weird because obviously I've got all my friends on it, but that doesn't really matter. It's just something about it that even though if I get really angry at it, it's still fun. Like I could die off the bat and then get really angry and start smashing the remote and everything. Then the very next game, I'll forget all about it and just be really happy and chill out. And there's something about it's weird.
I gotta ask, Viking, does Isabelle LeBlanc have something for you? Because she says that you get mad and salty at Apex all the time.
Yeah, Apex is one of the only games that brings out the Viking rage. That's my little sister, by the way.
Oh, is that? Oh, that makes sense. Oh, go ahead. Cuss him as much as you like, LeBlanc.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know what it is about Apex, but I could play anything and just not get mad.
But Apex gets you nutty.
Yeah.
All right. No, Finn, I have a theory, Finn. It's because I was similar with Tekken 7, right? I think a few podcasts ago, I don't know if I said it. Tekken was, when I first got my PlayStation, the first two games I got was Tekken, the very first one, and Ridge Racer. I mean, even the case for Tekken was different. I don't know if you guys know. You guys probably don't know this. Majority of you young Viking might know. The case for Tekken was a cardboard case, and it was kind of like a laminated cardboard. So it felt grand. Taking it out of the case felt grand. That was the start of the experience. Then I played it. And then it was amazing because the story was amazing, even though back then you didn't concentrate so much on stories and graphics. It was just about the gameplay. And I was a Tekken guy through and through all the way to the end. And then Tekken 7 comes along, and then there's rumor they're not going to make any more Tekkens, which sucked. But I started playing Tekken 7 online. And it was pretty cool at first. But then it got to a point where I was addicted. Like, I was playing 5, 6, 7 hours a day saying, after the next match, I'll get off. Which sounds like rookie numbers for you guys, but if you guys have played Tekken, it's pretty freaking bright. Because with other games, there's a virtual world, right? That you go into, that you interact, right? With even with your freaking, what do you call it? What's the word again? The Battle Royale games or your FPSs. You got your headsets on, you interact with everybody. We'll come to that question next. Thanks very much, Butterfield, by Spyro Crash Bandicoot. So when it came to the Tekken thing, it's just you don't have that interaction. It's just you waiting for another guy. Then it's like a really bad relationship where you're there for 5 minutes and then you're gone and that's it. And then you wait 10, 15 minutes for another 5-minute interaction. So it was pure addiction for me. And I lost heart in Tekken. I ended up trading it in because I realized that I'm not getting anything more out of it. I'm not growing in my game. So that's when it comes to Tekken. I mean, what about you guys when it comes to like a point like that? Do you relate to that sort of feeling when it comes to a game? Let's pass it over to Viking.
Not overly. I like to be the best at the game I play. so like if I would have been in your shoes for Tekken, for instance, I would have probably tried to bring it further, play more, get better, go to competitions, because there's loads of Tekken competitions even today. Yeah. So I think that's the reason I get so mad at Apex is because I can't. I've hit a spot in my skills where I can't get any better.
That must suck. You can get better, for some reason you can't.
Yeah, and it's something that really just picks at something in my head. But yeah, I just I like to be good at everything I do, and that drives me and keep doing it and keep doing it. So so yeah, in short, I think I would have seen it a bit differently, but
no, Apex, that's fair. I mean, sorry, yeah, go ahead, finish off.
Apex, though, I just don't play anymore.
Apex, I just no.
No.
Apex, no. All right, fair enough. That's a fair point. I mean, with Tekken, the annoying thing, I was genuinely thinking about going to tournaments. It's a fair point you did raise up. I forgot to say. Thanks, man. I was thinking about it, but then I realized while I was playing that these guys, I've got to a point where I'm not winning. No matter who I'm getting matched with, I am not winning. They're just too good for me. And then I realized that even if I go into a tournament, I'm going to get rickrolled. That's what my opinion was. And I thought, no, there's better games out there. I'm wasting my time with this. It's a very good point, actually, getting into tournaments so you can get better as well. And maybe I just didn't have the courage to do that. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Phil when it comes to like the point I've raised that Finn has actually raised, sorry, when it comes to kind of like addictability. What do you think? Does that help make a good game, the addictability?
I would say that it does make a good point for a game, because at the end of the day, a game is made, it's developed, and it's there for people to play it. Like, that's the whole purpose of why it's made. So if they don't have some sort of aspect where it just keeps bringing you in or new people in, then there's just gonna end up being nobody left playing it. And then the game's going to have not fulfilled its purpose. So I guess that the whole thing of a game having an addictability is what makes it a game, essentially, because if it doesn't have a certain section that, first of all, hooks people in and then gets them addicted, then it's not going to have a fan base. It's not going to have anybody playing it, and then they're not going to be able to put their in-game items in for them to get money off and make different games and have their own little battle royale now.
So yeah. That point. But I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, finish up. Go ahead.
But yeah, I can agree that it is a strong point to a game. So, for example, me with Rocket League, I find it a very chill and a game to just sit back, relax, have fun on. But sometimes I do like to play it more like competitively as such. So Rocket League is one of the games where it can get very bad on yourself. And
bad on yourself? How do you mean?
So a lot of people that watch Rocket League YouTubers or things like this will know that when you're playing Rocket League and you're playing competitively, you go through a cycle.
Right.
And this cycle is the following.
Let me take notes. Go ahead.
You start off where you are and you train, you get better. Once you master all this training, you get to the God phase, that they call the God phase, where everything you're doing is working perfectly. You're winning majority of all your games. You're doing amazing. And now you'll stay in that phase for maybe a week. Depends on the person. Can last for a couple of months. And then once you get past that phase, you then go to the suck phase, where for some reason, no matter what you do, after all that training you've done, after how greatly you've been playing that game, nothing seems to work. Whatever you're doing, or what you was doing, just now doesn't work. You can't play the game. You suck. Like, it happens. And then you'll go back again. You'll get back to the drawing board again, going, right, well, what do I need to train on? You start training again. You start perfecting all that training. You get back to your God phase. You're like, yeah, I'm good at the game again. And then you get past the God phase and you get put into higher tiers and more people are doing more mechanical, better things. And then you're back to like, well, nothing I'm doing is working. I suck at the game. And it just keeps going.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, you know what? I kind of surprised that you said that you play that game to chill, because I don't. My couch just moves back and forth. I'm just like, you know.
Yep, you're so into the game.
Moving with the car.
So into the game, yeah. You know.
Sofa turns upside down when you're driving up the wall.
All of a sudden, my couch is like this far away from my TV. I'm just like, how did I get up here? You know.
Oh damn! We have all related to a game on that level somewhere or another. We've just sat in the screens right here. I mean, how did I get here? I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I gotta challenge that a little bit, Phil, what you said, because I don't maybe that's just challenging the nature of the language when I say this, because for me, Tekken was an addiction, right? And that didn't necessarily mean it was a good game for me anymore, because I was just playing online with it. Like I explained it, I was addicted to something that was empty. So maybe the addiction by itself isn't good, but if it's associated with something, just like Finn is saying, right? There is a form of addiction. You're going to say, I'm going to quit this. Then the next day, you light up your Fortnite again, as it were, right? Or you inject your Fortnite, depending on how you take it. But we do not condone narcotics. Moving on, I'm going to bring it over to Scott, and I'm going to ask him his opinion on the topic then. So further on, we've just spoken about addictability. How do you feel about that when it comes to that word now, when it comes to addictability of a game?
See, I find the word addictability hard, because if you love something, you know, I'm not addicted to my fiance. I'm not addicted to. I'm on that fence. God, if she's watching this, I love her. On a serious note, though, I know what Finn's trying to get at, because I might know when Fortnite first came out, and I'd never played a battle royale game in my life. I love those type of films. I don't know if these two will be old enough to remember, but there's an old Japanese film literally called Battle Royale that came out.
All the school kids, right?
And
it's ridiculous. It was awesome.
It blew my mind, and I don't know why I loved it so much. And I had to watch in Japanese, no subtitles, nothing like that. So I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, yeah, cool, no worries. Fight scene, yeah. So it just, and then I didn't even see a trailer for Fortnite. What had happened was I seen it all in the news about these kids hacking their mom's credit cards to pay for Viva.
Oh, damn, son.
I always say the word business. I captivated me straight away. I was addicted to hearing this news. And I was like, right, I need to check this out. Free game. Who doesn't love free stuff? Downloaded it. First game I played, just like you were talking before Apex, landing, dying. And the thing is with me, just like Viking was saying, I always want to try and better myself and stuff. Like, I have to be the best at things. So when I started dropping, a 5-kill game, I was running around showing my pals, cool, no worries, Scott. And then I started dropping 10-kill games. I'm like, yeah, cool, still, well done, good job. And now I'm at that stage, like, between war zones now. I'm angry with myself if I don't drop, like, a high-kill game. Now, I know one of my boys on this Honey Badger's watching, and without a doubt, he will always end the game in double digits, all right? Don't worry, Phil, you'll get there eventually. It's the same with me. Like, when I'm playing with the Wolves, I'm dropping double-digit games, no doubt, all the time, which is great for me. But if I'm playing with my boys, just as local, or the boys have been playing in the tournament that we just entered in, I'm only dropping like 5 kills a game. And for me, the addictability there is I need to get better, and I want to, end up getting that win. And it's, like I say, with my story mode games, your main accomplishment is to finish the game. Some people like doing the side quests. Some people like trying to max out all their trophies. In the Battle Royale phase I'm in just now, I want to go and get a win as much as I can. On the idea for content as well, if you're on the content creator side and blah, 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 nobody wants to come and watch a Twitch stream if you're not winning and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, again, that comes back to the business type of things. The addictability for me is in a game, in the business that we are all in, being content creator, competitive, streamer, or whatever it is nobody's going to come and watch you get 99th place on a Twitch stream. Nobody's going to come and watch you get 50th place or all the rest of it. People want to come and see these high kill games. People want to come and see these first places. And that's the main thing that goes on just now on any sort of platform. So you need to try and better yourself in a business sense of it as well. So that's the word addictability comes back to me is, like you said, Z-Bear, you want to be better things. Viking, like you said, you want to try and be the best at things. I'm on with Finn talking about addictability, always going back to Fortnite. By the way, Finn, I installed Fortnite for the 20th time today. I'm completely done with that game now. It's lost me. But in it's completely baffled me. The addictability thing is definitely trying to best yourself in the business side of things, or be able to bet yourself as a streamer, content creator, Twitch, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
See, I slightly disagree, because if a person is entertaining and losing, I'll watch them. Right?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. If, doing funny skits and all the rest of it, I totally get that. But the idea I was talking about is, yeah, like I get what you're trying to say. Like, if somebody's funny and they're not necessarily,
good.
Like, I can get that. I can mess with that. But
That's what,
for me, I like to see these high kill games, because then I can see what they're doing and try to put it in my games. And that's the addictability part that I want to try and see. Is I'm watching somebody else try and copy them to get that stage.
Yeah.
Vikings just hit a memory for me. Everyone knows Jason Statham, right? Action star extraordinaire.
I kind of
see the movie. Nah, no, you don't.
No, okay.
So, what do we call about it? There was this one movie he did with Melissa McCarthy called Spy. Did you guys see it?
Yeah.
The absolute opposite of a martial arts superstar, but he was still awesome in it because he was just entertaining.
Yeah.
He knocked himself out opening a door, for God's sakes. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I could second that with Viking there. So I'm gonna bring it back to Finn. It's a bit disjointed now because Finn introduced the topic and I went round. So I'm gonna bring it back to Finn now. Finn, you raised up this interesting point that kind of led on to addictability now. So what I'd like to ask is, we had a gentleman who asked Spyro or Crash Bandicoot. So quickly let's go all the way around and answer his question. So Finn, Spyro or Crash Bandicoot?
I grew up on Crash Bandicoot.
Say that again?
I grew up on Crash Bandicoot.
He grew up on Crash Bandicoot. Good answer. Me, Crash Bandicoot. Viking? Both? Neither?
I'm going to go Spyro.
Spyro. Interesting. Okay, Phil?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. And Scott?
Yeah, it's got to be Crash.
Got to be Crash. Awesome. So 4-1, Viking, you lose. But that's the only way we're going to win. Never win a hand-to-hand. Moving on to the topic I really wanted to go to, because he's going to get his own stone pick that he hand chiseled. Right. So Finn, let's we got you've mentioned the Fortnite thing, you've mentioned the Madden thing, but and you're on PlayStation. Which PlayStation? PS4, right? Yeah. All right. So name a game out of all of your history, be it a campaign. Let's talk about campaigns, because I really want to concentrate on campaigns. Name a campaign game or a story-based game, not multiplayer game, that has really stuck with you up till this very day. That, let's say, if it came to you again, you'd play it happily again. Name the one game that you think that would happen for you?
Black Ops 2. 100%.
Black Ops 2. Okay, so why Black Ops 2?
The storyline was just brilliant. Like the way that they sort of carried it on from the first one, and then kind of transitioned it from the future to the past, and then back again. It sort of made it really playable. Like I'd play the same mission over and over again without getting bored.
Oh wow! See, the thing with me is I don't. Go ahead. Sorry. Go finish. You were playing it what?
I was literally playing it all day, every day. Literally came back from school, was on it.
Wow. Okay. I mean, with FPS, first-person shooters, my problem is there are a few guys kind of like me, not the majority of you guys in the gaming crew, of course, with the Wicked Rules Gaming. You play one first-person shooter, you kind of played them all. They're variations on the same thing, right? So Borderlands is kind of like an RPG first-person shooter. Modern Warfare, there's a few war-based first-person shooters that, you get on and you clock them and that's it. Is Black Ops 2 the one where they ask them what do the numbers mean, or is that the first one?
That's the first one.
That's the first one, is it? I don't think I played the
original.
One.
That's the original.
So what do the numbers mean? And then you break down and you go into
what are the numbers?
What are the numbers? What do they mean? Yeah, exactly. Right. So with me, that's it, right? So that's the thing with that's because I'm not much of a first-person shooter gamer. I'm more of a story-based gamer, right? I didn't do the online thing. I didn't have much of a multiplayer lifestyle. It was just me playing stories. So if I were to answer that question, funnily enough, 2 nights ago, I purchased Resident Evil 5 for PlayStation 4 because it was on sale for like £6.50, £6.19 or something. I thought I'm out of that, and I'm enjoying it, even though it was back on PlayStation 3, for God's sakes. But the one game that really would do it for me would be Devil May Cry. Now, have any of you guys played the very first Devil May Cry?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, I don't know, since we've got a majority of people agreeing, the very first Devil May Cry I find is king, and all the other Devil May Cries after it have been lacking. Don't you feel that?
100%. I totally agree with you there.
100%.
That new one that came out recently, I got the demo for it and I didn't even bother because it's tier to none. Bye.
We've lost a man. Man down. Finn, where are you? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a technical issue with Finn. Don't worry about it. Captain, you keep talking. We'll see if we can find him back. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like Z was saying there, for guys that played the first ever Devil May Cry, I was a young age for that.
There we go. He's back.
He's back. Hallelujah. Welcome back, Finn. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you, darling. Welcome back, Bunny Boo. We missed you for about 2 seconds. Sorry. Go ahead, Scott the Scott.
No, I can just pass it back to you. Like I said, like it's your game. That's the one that you were talking about. I can totally agree with you on the fact of it's first was king and everything else is just not. And I can't figure out why unless you've got something that's going to change my mind. And
yeah, I think I have a theory because I recently purchased Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I was over the moon to get it. Right. I was banging it out last weekend because if anybody's played Final Fantasy VII, the original one had 3 discs, right? The first disc, you were in the city of Midgar, arguably the longest disc. Then the second disc, you were out in the world. You were interacting with the world. You were finding secrets. You were unlocking things. You were finding secret characters, for God's sakes. And then the third one was the final boss where you had to fight Sephiroth, right? But you didn't have to fight Sephiroth immediately. You could still wander around in the world, right? So it was just a beautiful world to wander around. Right? I got the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and when I'm banging it out, I'm nearly like 20 hours in, and I find out by chance, I didn't even know this until after I got it. 20 hours into the game, I found out by chance that this remake is only in the city of Midgar. You don't go out and explore the world. And that broke me. The memories I had, I'm not going to get to them. You know, and the nostalgia, I have to wait for that now. And then I'm playing the game and I realize something. They played the dynamics of the game, the gameplay. And it hit me. This is happening with some Japanese studios. And I think this happened with Resident Evil as well. Because after 5, it kind of plateaued, right? And then they try to mix it up with 7, right? So 6 was okay. 7, they try to make it the virtual reality thing. But it took ages for 7 to come out, right? And since then, what have they done? They've gone back to 2 to remake them because they haven't got any new ideas.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, was it you who said that Resident Evil 3 was a disappointment? Or one of the guys last week said it was a disappointment, Resident Evil 3. Or was it you or was it the other guy? Somebody said it. Somebody said Resident Evil 3 was a disappointment, right? Because of Nemesis, right? The remake. Yeah. My theory with the remake of Final Fantasy VII has pushed me onto my theory with Devil May Cry. They're trying to make the game more pretty and at the sacrificing of gameplay. So whilst Final Fantasy VII is gorgeous, the graphics are gorgeous, I've clocked it once, I have no desire to play it again. And I compared it to my Devil May Cries because 3, 4, DMC that they made secretly, and then 5, I clocked them all once, I didn't want to play them again. Now, remember that thing Phil said about the family interaction, right? I was playing Devil May Cry on PlayStation 2, right? My mom just happened to walk in and sit down. Okay, what are you playing? I want to see. She did not move for an hour because I was fighting the final boss. I was fighting Mundus on the hardest difficulty, the absolute hardest difficulty. And she went away and told her dad, my granddad, about this amazing game that I was playing, right? Because she didn't get video games, but when she watched that one, she got it. She got video games by watching that one game, that interaction. And we've never had that since, right? My theory is one of the things I loved about the first Final Fantasy VII and the Devil May Cry, the open worldness of it all. I didn't care so much about the graphics as much as the ability to wander, the ability to discover, go back to old places where you'd already been, investigate. There were secrets to uncover. That's exactly the same with Final Fantasy VII. If anybody's played the Final Fantasy VII, anybody's got the submarine, and where you take the submarine to the crash plane, and you've got these big, humongous, powerful monsters that give you humongous rewards. There's the ruby weapon, there's the diamond weapon, there's the ammo weapon. You have none of that in Final Fantasy VII. This is it. You played it once through, this is all you get. That's it. And I don't want to play it again. I want to trade it in as soon as I can. Yeah, so That's why I think happened with the Devil May Cry. With the I hope the Japanese studios are listening. That don't sacrifice gameplay just to make it look pretty. You know,
Absolutely.
because why do people still play Tetris, for God's sakes? It's the gameplay, right? They can make it as pretty as they like. We don't care. It's the gameplay of the damn thing. So I'm going to hand that over now to Viking about his opinions. I mean, if anybody agrees or disagrees, I think gameplay is king. It's the most important thing for a video game. Viking.
I have to completely agree with that. Recently, PlayStation sent out some free games, which one of those games was Journey. Beautiful game. Beautiful. Very short. Very short. It took me about, I think, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half, right? Yeah.
To finish it, and it just left me wanting more. And sadly, that's the case with a lot of games these days. You try them, you play them, you're just left wanting more, and there could be more. There was that possibility, but it's just not there.
Yeah.
You were talking about Final Fantasy VII. I haven't played the remake, but I used to love the original. The original is still in my top, I would say probably top 3 games.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
But I like doing that. I like being able to explore as well. Like, for instance, Ark. I don't know if anybody's ever played Ark Survival.
Never actually played it.
No,
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
It's a survival game, so you have to eat, you have to drink water, you have to make sure you're not too cold, too warm. You
do the real thing outside. Why are you playing Ark? You go out in the woods and do the real thing.
Yeah, and you can tame dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures to to ride on. Go into battles. And there's actually servers where you go PvP, where you can raid other clans or tribes and steal their stuff, and but that game is open, right? You get a map, and as long as you have the right gear, you don't want to go in the snow area with something that keeps you cool. Not
warm. Just going in underwear. I can do this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I got this. But as you level up, you level fortitude, for instance, to make it regulates your body temperature. It's really in depth, and that's another one that's probably, I would say, my top 3 as well, because it keeps things interesting. You have this huge map, and there's what they call explorer notes. So you go over and get those notes. It tells you a bit more about the lore, so you have to find those to understand why you're on this island and what is happening here. Because basically, when you start the game, they start you on the beach. You spawn. You look at your arm. You have this little diamond-shaped thing on your arm, and then that's it. It doesn't tell you how to play. It doesn't. It doesn't tell you anything about the story, and as you find explorer notes, you kind of figure out where you are, and it's really cool.
That's almost kind of Dark Souls, like when you start to, here you go, you can't even pause the game. If you press the PlayStation button on the PlayStation 4, it doesn't pause it. That's it. Go figure it out.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really cool because you actually have to put in work to find out stuff about the lore and story and the Dark Souls.
And it's rewarding, isn't it? Once you find this stuff, you just feel like a sense of accomplishment, right?
Oh, yeah, because, you go to this thick forest filled with stuff like raptors, T-Rex, stuff that wants to eat you.
My ex-wife. Ladies and gentlemen, my ex-wife will be dropped regularly because she was a horrible person. But anyway, go ahead, continue, Viking.
And you go, if you go out looking for that kind of stuff, you're fighting the elements, you're fighting creatures. You were talking about addictability earlier. I played nothing but Ark for about a year and a half. Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And I'm playing it again. I've been playing it for 2 weeks now.
Oh, good. We're gonna lose the Viking, ladies and gentlemen. We know he's probably stuck to his sofa, so don't worry, he'll be fine. I'm just going to take it away from you. Just a couple of comments I read. Somebody mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a mix of both. It was beautiful as well. It was awesome gameplay. Not too complex in its controls. Well worth the replay. Somebody else here thinks that the Final Fantasies are going to be downloadable contents. They are not. They don't even know how many parts to the Final Fantasy VII remake they are doing. And I think the reason that my theory about that is that when it came to Final Fantasy 15, it was one of the biggest disappointments for Final Fantasy. The theory goes around. I don't think that's my opinion. 7 people have voiced that as well. I played and I was severely disappointed when it came to story because usually Final Fantasies are much better with story. So they're not sure how many parts the Final Fantasy 7 is going to be. Right? So, and now we had a question that just stuck up on. Yeah, there we go, Cash. I wonder why. Right. So. Before I pass it over on to Phil, we did have a question regarding anime games, and I'll bring that up in a minute. But I think it's only fair that we pass the mic over to Phil. I mean, if you want, you can answer that question. The guy asked his opinion on anime games, or you can continue the same thread, or both. Go ahead, Phil.
So first of all, I'll touch on the whole story side of things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And for me, the one game that will always stick with me, and I will always have my memories with story side of things, is Halo.
Yeah.
Just simply because of how much there is in depth, how much things continued through games, and just playing it with family, as I've said earlier, that those things are going to stick with me. But a game recently that I've played that came out on 23rd of March 2018, I believe, A Way Out.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Two prisoners, right?
Yes.
So, carry on.
Yep. So basically, only one of you, right? You get to play with a friend. Only one of you have to buy the game. Both of you can play it. So, literally, I was browsing through my local CX store with my friend, and I saw this game, and it's like, co-op game. Like, for a while, I've been looking for a game that's just solely story, solely campaign, and then I saw this little bit that's like, your friend can join for free. So I turned around to my friend and I was like, look, shall I buy this? We'll crack some hours on it. It's like, sure, why not? We'll give it a try. So. For once, first of all, it's felt since ages since I've actually put a disc in my Xbox, because I just download everything. So I put it in, let it download. That's the first thing when we changed consoles, by the way. Put an Xbox 360 disc in, put it in, boom, game's on. Put it into the Xbox One. You need to download what? Yeah, that's
75 gig update.
Yep, that's the first thing that confused me.
Oh man!
But yeah, the story of that game, like you said, right? The game isn't that beautiful. Don't get me wrong, the graphics are okay, right? But the story behind it is just incredible. And the fact that, obviously, a close friend that can, or whoever you decide to play with, your partner, whatever, it is that story intensive. I'm not going to put any too much detail out there for people that haven't played the game.
Yeah.
But the end of it could leave you in an argument. It drags you in that much.
Oh, that engaging, right?
Yes.
And then you're going to be
That's
walking away
engaging.
over your coffee. You're going to be arguing about what to do next or what's going on in the story, right? That kind of thing. Even when you're not playing the game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it really makes you work together.
Yeah.
Wow.
It makes you work together, and then when you finish the game, you could be having an argument for a week. I'm not lying.
After you finish the game. Oh,
yes.
Jeez. See, that's another thing. That's another thing about games. You walk and you can't stop talking about it as well. Nobody does that anymore, do you? I'm on Fortnite. Okay, see you on Fortnite. I'm on Apex. Okay, see you on Apex. Okay, there's a new chapter released. Okay, that's interesting. You don't really chat about it like we used to with story games, right? We would go on and on about it. So I'm going to bring it back to the Final Fantasies. With the Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, you could get walkthroughs this thick you could purchase from the shops for £15 to tell you all the secrets of the game. And you'd be still talking about it with your mates. So that's an interesting thing about when it comes to games too. That's pretty awesome. Thanks for that, Phil. So I'm gonna pass it over to Toothless as well. What do you think on the topic?
I'll try and keep it nice and short and sweet. Somebody mentioned before about Horizon Zero Dawn. It's been a long time since I'd fell in love with a game like that, and that game reminded me a lot of Far Cry 3. I'm not mentioning Far Cry 1 or 2. They were okay, but by far 3 was king. And it was the idea of this madman got you on an island and you're just a random normal person. And then it was going on about hunting animals to upgrade your gear or having to hunt certain things to be able to get better weapons. And that kind of captivated me. And I was mad for that. And then somebody mentioned years later about Horizon Zero Dawn, and I watched the trailer and I was like, I'm not a big fan of like robot stuff, like futuristic things. Like I'm not into that as much as I would be other games. And then somebody mentioned, and I was like, it's like Far Cry 3. And I nearly snapped my neck and I was like, what do you mean it's like Far Cry 3? Same mechanics. You go out, you hunt for things, blah, blah, but instead of hunting animals, you're taking on these big, massive mechanical animals. And it's all post-apocalyptic, I don't know. It happened. It messed up.
Post means after, darling. Pre means before. Post-apocalypse.
Scottish.
Welcome to English. I know it's hard for Scots people, but don't worry.
Yonder type. We'll go Scottish. That'll do.
Couldn't resist. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm big into like zombie games and like Viking was saying, these survival games, and the idea of the storyline tying in with something futuristic happened and it sent the natural habitat of the land back to like old times. This futuristic idea to it. That got me mad for it. And I loved that story. And I recently replayed it again back in February, just as I was joining Wolves. And then I don't know why, but I lost interest in it again. But I love the game. Like I cannot speak more and more about the game. It's brilliant. But the last thing dead quickly was Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out. That was brilliant. Not Modern Warfare 2, the first ever Modern Warfare that came out. And when they remastered that, it was brilliant because visuals just changed and it was so much better performing, but there was nothing affected in the storyline bar the little mini Easter eggs that they put in. And I'm a sucker for Easter eggs. I love Easter eggs in games. And one of the things, and it doesn't tell you, it doesn't give you rules, it doesn't show you what to do. But in the mission, All Gilly Duck, and if you don't know what All Gilly Duck is, are you a gamer? If you don't know what All Gilly Duck is, are you? But in that mission, it's the best thing. Everybody loves the idea of being a sniper, right? And I love the idea of being a sniper in any sort of game. In that mission, if you've already played Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one, and then you play 2 and 3, you'll know in Modern Warfare 3, the main villain in that one is sitting in one of the cars during Modern Warfare, the first one, and he helps the guy that you were supposed to shoot get away. Now, in the remastered version, and I want people to try this if you've got the game, if you are aiming for, I think his name is Kayeth, I believe, you shoot him, you blow off his arm. Shoot him, and then look over to the car, if you've got a good memory of where the Modern Warfare 3 villain is. If you shoot that car and you kill the driver, you get one of the gold platinums, or I don't know what it is on Xbox, but you get one of the gold platinum trophies on PS4, and it's something along the lines of stopping the future. So you're killing that guy, and it's basically eradicating Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So that was a whole smart. Obviously, Modern Warfare 2 and 3 have already happened, but if you shoot the protagonist from Modern Warfare 3 in the car, in Modern Warfare, the remastered version, it totally eradicates everything that's going to happen in the future, but it already happened. That was quite a lot of work for me. That was supposed to be.
It sounds like a lot about explaining it for you. Well done. Go get yourself a cup of tea. All right, awesome. No, fair enough. So basically, you stopped the timeline and there was an Easter egg there. That's pretty awesome. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the stream right now. Somebody has said, we have yet to answer that question about anime games, if you have played any. I think I've only ever played one. One thing I look for, this is Scott here, Scott Farrar. One thing I look for in games is the story plot. If it does not have a good story and a good game and good game mechanics, then I will not play it. Hence why I love Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. The story is incredible and the game mechanics are immense. 100% agree. 100% agree. My problem is maybe I'm getting old, but the same thing that I agree with Scotsman here, is that with Horizon Zero Dawn and even Spider-Man, I've played it once, I've clocked it, I got nearly all the trophies. I don't feel like playing it again. It is an awesome game, though. There is no doubt about it, and an awesome story as well. The way they introduce every goddamn villain that you have to challenge. 100% agree, Scott. Thanks for that. And also, there was just another point here. Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. This is Logan Johnston here. And Assassin's Creed Ezio's story. Absolutely. I mean, Gears of War, you're going to be the Xbox guys nodding your head there. I definitely love the Assassin's Creed story. Ezio was the crowning achievement of all of the Assassin's Creeds. 100%. I think everybody can agree that we loved him so much that they had to make 3 games out of the guy. Then it was the twist at the end of the third video game of Ezio, the one where the supreme being, talks to the main character from the future instead of Ezio. That was a kick in the stomach. Love that. I think I might have ruined that for spoiler there for some people. Sorry. And everybody is hyped for Valhalla. Everybody is hyped for Valhalla. There's no doubt about it, right? And tough luck if you're on a platform that can't get it. Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge, wasn't that the parkour video game? Anybody remember?
No, that's Mirror's Edge.
Oh, no.
That's Mirror's Edge. Sorry, my mistake. There's something Edge. I was halfway there. So that's an awesome shout out there to Bleeding Edge. Well done. I'm going to bring it over to you again, Finn. So you can expand on whatever point you want, but I also would like to answer that question that was raised before regarding anime games. If you've played any anime games, and which anime game did you like? So go ahead, mate.
I've not played any anime games, so
End of topic. Next question.
yes.
But would you like to expand on the topics that we just spoke about before then, in terms of memorable games?
I have no idea what the question is.
Sorry?
I lagged out, so I have no idea what the question was.
Okay, welcome to the Packcast. Thank you for waking up. We were just talking about one particular game, why it sticks with you the best. So we were talking about campaign games as well, right? So I don't think we've asked you when it comes to your campaign game. What is the campaign that you're a stickler for that you'd go back to, and why it sticks with you?
It was Black Ops 2 still.
It was still Black Ops. Yes, we did ask you that. Sorry, I do apologize. Right. So it was Black Ops 2. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. So in terms of video games now, anime games are a bit niche for everybody, I think. There was only one game I think was based on an anime kind of thing. I don't know if the chat are going to disagree with me, but I'm just keeping an eye on the chat as well. There was a game called Nier Automata, where you played this android who's sent down to Earth to try and save the human beings, and you fight off all these machines. And there were literally 24 different endings, each for the letter of the alphabet. Ending A, ending B, ending C, ending T. Ridiculous, right? It's amazing. And sometimes when you played it again, I don't know if this happened to me, I played it again, and the story completely changed. It altered in between, and something else completely different happened. I hadn't done anything different, but it led me to a different ending. And I can't remember specifically, but that is my game when it comes to Nier Automata, and that was an awesome hack and slash. So I think my go-to games really are kind of like hack and slashes, like God of War, Devil May Cry. Nier Automata was awesome on that end as well. So what about you guys? Have you guys played any anime games? Ooh, Attack on Titans. That's also an awesome game. I haven't played it, but that's an awesome shout-out. So go ahead, Viking.
I'm about to make myself sound old again. On PlayStation 2, I used to play a game called Dot Hack. I don't know if you guys had ever heard of this game.
I haven't heard of it. No, go on.
No. So it was released in Japan first, and then in North America, I think it was like 2003.
Okay.
I believe. But the game had 5 discs.
Whoa.
They were not released at the same time.
Oh, man.
And yeah, so you would finish one disc, you would finish the part, and then I think it was infection, mutation, outbreak, quarantine, and fragment, I believe. So you had to wait for the next disc to come out, which I think was the year after. But great game, man.
Wow.
It was such a cool story, and it was an anime game. Apart from that, I think, I don't think I played much of anime games after that.
Because anime games, they're not really mainstream, are they? When they come out, you grab them and you play them. They're pretty cool. But just like you said, like these anime games, they get released in Japan first, and they might make their way across the world, right? And they don't get as much coverage as other games would do. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Phil. What about you? Have you had any experience with anime games at all?
I absolutely have not. The only anime game that has some sort of an anime thing behind it is Osu.
Which one?
Osu.
Osu.
Now,
nope, I don't know it. Go ahead.
Quite a few people probably know of it when they explain this. Basically, it's a music game where you get loads of circles and lines come up on the screen, and you have to like click and match to the beat. And it's just got a Japanese theme behind it. Like that
sounds Japanese. That's purely Japanese right there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That's the only thing that I've had near close experience at all near to it. So yeah, that's all I've got. But quick question. Regarding back to the last question, have you all heard of and or played Sniper Elite?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
The campaign on that. Yeah.
There's a reason they made 4 of those games, for God's sakes. For all we know, they might be working on 5. Right? There's a reason people came back to it again and again and again. Absolutely. Yeah. There is another guy here just on the chat has just raised a point here. The Dragon Ball fighting games based on the Dragon Ball anime characters. I mean, which is pretty cool. I don't know if because they tried to make the movie, we never talk about the movie. That was an abomination. That one movie alone could have torn down Hollywood, right? It was so atrocious, right? But the games, they seem to be coming up pretty decent, and they copy the anime series almost toe-to-toe, if I'm correct, when it comes to the story. So shout out to Scott Ferrara again. He's very good with engaging in the chat. Thanks for that, for giving us that little drop there. And Jack Dominic is also saying that he knows the game, so he's saying that was a great game, Viking. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh, awesome! I'm glad to hear somebody knows it because it's such a good game.
It's not old; it's just niche. It's really niche as well.
Niche.
It's like the DMC Dance Mat game, is what Josh Edwards said. I don't know what that means. And also, we got a drop on Digimon World was sick. Okay, awesome. Take some medicine. You can tell I'm dead, can't I? But go ahead, Viking. Sorry.
Another Japanese game I used to play was Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh my gosh!
In the arcade.
Yeah, but that's not an anime game, though. I mean, these Japanese games you have to play. You just have to play once, right? Have you ever seen the arcade games in Japan? I was blessed to go to Japan once. The arcade, it's like a different goddamn world. There's the drums there. There's the guitar games there. There's the cooking games there. It's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers. And they wouldn't make it anywhere in the world. It's just specifically for Japan. It's amazing. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
There's certain arcades out there that just... Like, I used to live in Edmonton, Alberta, and there was a place called Circuit Circus. It was in the West Edmonton Mall. Mm-hmm. It was in the food court, so you'd exit the food court, enter that area, and a door. It was a different world in there. You had the same thing. You had guitar, drums, you had racing games, all sorts of stuff. Man, I miss arcades. I really do.
I do. But now they're replacing kind of arcades with VR worlds now, if you think about it, kind of. Yeah. So there we go. Yes, Mr. Revolution, we 100% agree with you. Dragon Ball Evolution was the most disgusting film to be ever made. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, move on. Next topic. Motion pass. So, Toothless. I forgot what we're talking about now. What were we talking about? Anime games.
Anime games.
Yeah, go ahead, Toothless.
Yeah. I played... again, a demo of the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot that came out. But I'm also a little bit of a sucker of watching playthroughs. Like sometimes I'll go on YouTube and watch playthroughs of games of somebody else playing it to see if I actually want to get it. And when Kakarot came out, I watched the first ever mission of it, and the whole entire game is based on the whole entire Dragon Ball series. And if there's any Dragon Ball fans out there, they all have to agree that the Cell Saga was outstanding as a teenager growing up watching that. that blew my mind. Like that was the first kind of animated series I ever got into, and to be able to actually replay the Cell Saga on Kakarot was amazing. Just picking up on what the Alpha left in the comments, Attack on Titan. That was, if you could call, the first ever anime that I've watched, and I watched through all seasons. And now it wasn't one of those things where I wait for it to come out on Netflix. I went looking for that bad boy, and I don't know why. It's such a weird program, but loved it, absolutely loved it. Pokemon, Viking.
Yeah, he's got the poster behind him. He's just pointing to his entire little ABCs. Oh, well done, awesome. We had that ready for someone to say Pokemon. Awesome. Well done, mate. Well done. Awesome. Right. I've just remembered a video game I once played. Hideo Kojima is known for his Metal Gear and now the Death Stranding, but he made one in between called Zoe. And Zoe was kind of anime themed, but it wasn't so much an anime game. And it didn't really take off. It was basically a kid taking over an automaton, one of those giant machines you sit inside and he takes control of it. And he had no training, but somehow he was so good at controlling it. That's all it was. So it was all right. So I'm going to pass it over to Finn. Finn, do you know of any anime games that you may have played of or you're looking forward to?
No.
Well, that was a lovely conversation.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn earlier, I heard the second one's going to be multiplayer, so you all should be able to play with friends.
Ooh, damn, son. And that's going to be on the new console generation as well, so that'll be sick. That'll be amazing. And by then, our NetSpeed should support it. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, hopefully. The PlayStation is thinking about releasing the PS5 later because people were complaining about the price.
Yeah.
But, I've heard about that.
Yeah. But I do want to agree, man, the Cell Saga. Beautiful.
Someone else agrees.
Oh, yeah. I love the Cell Saga. Dragon Ball Z. I even like Dragon Ball GT. I know it gets a lot of flack.
Have you watched the new Broly one yet?
Yes.
Broly's mad. Like that's
dude.
So good. I can see somebody in the chat talking about Broly as well. Oh
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man. I just remember, like, running home from school just to watch it, right? And even now I loved I downloaded I acquired all the series of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball.
Everybody knows what acquired means.
Yeah.
Very diplomatic. Well done, Viking.
Yeah. Plausible deniability. And I think it was like 5 years ago, and I just watched from Dragon Ball all the way to the end of GT. I haven't seen a lot of Super, I'm not gonna lie, but I've seen the usual stuff like the Tournament of Power and stuff like that. But I haven't sat down and watched all of it. I really want to though.
I mean, there's just so much of it to watch, I guess. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly bring it back to interesting when it comes to story and gameplay as well. For me, I think Hideo Kojima does amazing when it comes to his games. Death Stranding, no way. No. It's with Death Stranding, it was a great story, but it was so long-winded. I mean, it was rewarding in a way. Like the one thing that was really rewarding for me in the game was when you move over to the second portion of the game. Like 20% of the game in, that the giant road that you can build that connects all the little bases together. That was rewarding to build it. That was it though. The story was so goddamn limited. Once I finished it, that's it. In you go for trading.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, however, 1, 2, 3, when you were playing Big Boss, not so much the Phantom Pain. All those ones I played again and again and again because the action was awesome, the story was awesome. It blew us away. I mean, that's kind of why Final Fantasy VII stuck with us, all of us, so much, was because the story, the fact that the main character isn't the hero that you think it is, that wallops you when you're 10, 11, 9, whatever, watching you. That's not a stand thing. Right. So,
Mr. Z-Bear, we have a game.
Yes, we do. We do indeed. So that's for all of us to play, just for ladies and gentlemen at home watching and various genders. One day someone's going to call me out and saying various genders. I don't know why. I just feel it. We're going to play a game where each of us will be telling two lies
truths.
about ourselves and no, I think it's the other way around. I think he's misread. It's usually supposed to be 2 lies and a truth, and you're supposed to guess what the truth is. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah,
I'm
that is
gonna
usually how it goes.
that is usually how it goes. We're not going to tell 2 truths and a lie because that wouldn't be as fun. So all of you guys here, including myself, I've got a go-to one that I'd like to do. Everybody here, just think of 2 lies and a truth about yourself you'd like to play. Now, for one or two of you guys, I might have just dropped the bombshell early with this, so I will start off for everybody watching at home. So fact number 1 about me is when I was in Pakistan, I had an honorary boxing round with Amir Khan, the boxer, when he came into my gym. Right? So that's fact 1. Fact 2 is I have lived around the country, the world, in 4 different countries. I have lived a portion of my life. And fact number 3 is I once won 2 comedy competitions in the country in the UK before I left for Pakistan. So those are 3 facts about me. Everybody at home and everybody watching and all of you guys, you got to guess which one was the truth and which ones are lies. So that's me done. Are you guys ready to give your 3 facts?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So Viking's still thinking, I can tell by his thinking pace. Phil, go ahead, dude.
Yes. So, fact number 1. I have lived in the same house and on the same road my whole entire life.
Okay.
Fact number 2 is I have only touched Xbox and PC throughout my whole life. Fact number 3 is this is my natural hair.
Bloody hell.
You know what? I am so sorry, Phil. You know what we should do? I've just realized this, and Jordan's just messaged me as I realized it. We probably shouldn't do everybody because it's going to be hard for everybody to keep up. So let's start with me, then we'll take it on to Phil. Okay, so with me, sorry about that, guys. Viking, which one do you think was the truth with me?
There's 2
I've
truths
broken
and 1
Viking.
lie. So it should be which one is the lie.
No, the other way around. Two lies and a truth, remember. Oh, you might want to change one of your facts then. So
Yeah, I'm going to change it all up.
Yeah. 2 of the things was a lie, 1 thing was a truth. What was the truth, Viking? Anybody want to guess the truth? Viking's still stuck in thinking.
Well, it definitely wasn't the comedy one, I can tell you that much.
Definitely wasn't the cover one. Well, screw you two. Sorry. Yeah, iron brew drinking, deep frying. Horrible individual. So, gummy, toothless individual. Go ahead then. All right, so which was the truth? Come back. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, in case you are wondering, he's still wearing pants, so thank you for that for standing up. Okay, he's still wearing pants. There we go. His mom was asking him about that last time. All right, so Revelation says number 2 is the truth. Okay, number 2 is when I said I lived in 4 different countries. Okay, anybody else?
That's definitely number 2. Number 2 is truth.
Number 2 is the truth. Everyone's going for number 2?
Number 2.
It's number 3. I won Beat the Frog. I won the Beat the Gong at the comedy store. Beat the Frog at the Frog and Bucket. I've lived in 3 different countries. I lived in Canada for a few months. Well, no, technically I did live there for like 10, 11 months, not quite a year. And in terms of, what was the first thing I said? Yeah, Amir Khan, he visited our gym. I didn't have an honorary boxing bout with him. So that's good to know that nobody likes my humor, you motherfucker. All right, so we're going to pass it over to Phil. Oh, Viking,
Okay,
have you thought of your things yet? Oh, no, Phil's ready. Phil's ready. Go ahead.
So we've got a go with 2 lies and 1 truth.
Go ahead.
Let's hit it. Okay. So, for all of my career, I have been known as Life of Phil.
Okay.
I also have had 3 different names throughout my career. 2 separate points there.
Yeah. So that's fact 1 and fact 2, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, fact 3.
And fact 3 is I enjoy FPS over every game ever.
Something tells me number 3 is bullcrap. Something tells me number 3 is bullcrap. I vote number 1. What about you guys?
Yeah, number one.
Number 1.
He's always been known as Life as Phil, but his
I'm gonna
fact
go
number
number
2 was that your game tag was always changed, hasn't it? Right?
It's changed 3
Yeah.
times, he said. I picked 2.
I'm going.
You pick 2.
I'm going number 2. 2.
I'm going number 1. Go ahead, Phil.
Number 2 is the truth.
Oh, damn, son. Well, that was interesting. Awesome. All right. Okay. Cool.
I have
All right,
been
who's
known.
next?
If it-
All right. Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want me to
Tell
explain?
us. Yeah. Please.
So, starting out with, I was known as the gaming life of Phil. Then changed to Phil's the gamer.
Mhm.
And then after Phil's the gamer, I just then thought back to gaming life of Phil and thought, well, I'm not just doing gaming, so we'll just go with the whole life of Phil.
There's more to me than games. Come on. You just watch me just for my controller. Right. Okay, that's fair enough. So we'll move on to the next guy. Who's willing to go next?
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Fact number 1.
Mhm.
I've lived in every province and territory in Canada.
Okay.
Fact number 2. I was pronounced dead one time.
Damn, son.
Zombie!
How much beer did you have? Sorry. How much were you drinking? All right, go ahead. What's number 3?
Fact number 3 is I've been in total 5 vehicle accidents.
You know what? Something tells me that the 5 isn't the right figure. It's probably like 7 or 9. Because wait, did you say road accidents or just accidents?
Vehicle accidents.
Oh, vehicle. Okay, I take that back. Because I just thought accidents means you were in the woods and you burnt your testicles or something by mistake. But
Dancing
okay.
naked.
That's naked, yeah. All right, we got a guy saying number 2 is true. Okay.
I'm going with Viking has been pronounced dead.
Damn,
Yeah,
son, it's tricky. This was tricky. I'm gonna go for 1. Because I know a little bit about your history, so I lived is the key word there. So I'm gonna go for number 1. Chloe Page agrees with me, the only person who agrees. Thank you, Chloe. Anybody else?
I'm going to go number 3 because 5 accidents is
He's just a violent man. Yeah, number 3.
5.
Proper road rage.
Yeah.
Go ahead then. Go ahead, Viking. What is the truth?
Would you like to give a guess, Tempest?
Number 2. You've been dead.
Number 2.
You've been dead. You're
Number
still dead. Aren't we all in a level? But go ahead.
Number 2 is right. I was pronounced dead, and after they came,
Damn, son.
after they stopped working on me, I apparently started breathing again. So I don't remember this.
Whoa! Was this when you were a kid or something?
I was 17.
Happened yesterday.
Happens all the time to Vikings. You're just dead, and then they pronounce you that. Psych! I'm still here.
Yeah. No, it was the doctor was pretty surprised, and he said I was extremely lucky. But yeah, number 1 is semi-true. I lived in every province. I haven't lived in the territories. So Nunavut, Northwest Territory,
Getting up on a technicality. All right, fair enough.
and Yukon. I haven't lived in those 3, but I'm from the east coast of Canada and slowly made my way to British Columbia on the west coast.
On the west coast. Awesome.
And as far as car accidents, I've only been in 2.
4. Oh, 4. Okay, 2.
Wasn't ready for Valhalla, exactly.
Valhalla said, "Go, make yourself perfect before you come." All right.
Right,
Next
toothless.
up,
Are you
2
ready?
plus. You're not
yeah.
really Scottish. Fact number 1.
Yeah, I'm laughing at these. Cool. So fact number 1, I have 9 tattoos. Fact number 2, I only have 8 teeth left in my mouth. Fact number
Okay.
3, I drive a Kia Sportage.
A Kia Sportage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? Fact 3 is so vanilla that has to be true. You know what? That has to be true. It just suits you for some reason. A Kia Sportage. I'm surprised you don't drive a hatchback. I mean, come on.
I'm saying that hashtag Captain Moist only has 8 teeth left.
Oh,
Why Captain? Oh, the nasty
That's
word.
same. You've only got
We
8
don't
teeth.
have the time. We don't have the time. Otherwise, I'd ask the history behind Captain Moist. Tune in next week. But yeah. I'm leaning on 3 because it seems like it would be a fun idea for you to be driving a Kia Sportage. Anybody else? Everyone's following suit just because I said 3, and I think it's just really to annoy you more than anything. Go on then. Anybody else want to give a guess?
Viking.
Viking's pointing for number 1.
What?
Oh, number 1. You got 9 tattoos. What about you,
2.
Finn? 2. All right. Okay.
I'm going
Go
2.
ahead. Yeah.
Cool. So,
Okay.
I actually don't drive. So, there you go.
You can still own the
Three's out
car.
the window.
Yeah. Also, I'm very lucky to have 12 teeth in my mouth. I have 9 tattoos.
Well done, Viking. Well done. Viking was the truth rod there.
Gamer.
Oh, man. What happened to your teeth, mate? Was it because of rugby?
Yeah, it was rugby. I won't get into too much. Got kicked in the face, broke my jaw, broke my eye socket, lost about 8 teeth from the front 4 to the left.
Jeez, son.
And got my jaw and eye socket fixed. If you can't tell, my left eye is a bit droopier than the right. That's why I got it this time, make it look crazy. But yeah, it went on years later till I got to my early 20s when I went to the dentist. They found kind of like a cyst in my mouth.
I'm sorry, Danny just stole the limelight there.
Wait, Danny, you're coming in with a Kia Sportage joke.
Yes, what I've always wanted.
But yeah, basically there was an infection. It killed all my teeth in the top jaw.
Man.
Doctors never found it when they fixed my jaw, and ended up losing them bit by bit. Had an operation last August to get rid of them all. They gave me dentures, but they make me look like a horse. So I'm just building the name Captain Toothless because it's what I've been called from rugby days. So yeah, follow me. You know, like I said, I'm probably the sexiest man in Scotland without teeth. So it's
No, you're just the sexiest man in Scotland. Teeth or regardless.
Yeah.
I like easy. You're good.
Certainly
Nah,
not,
I like me too.
certainly not
So-
the only one, right?
Moving on. All right. So we got our last guy here, Finn. Tell us your 3 facts.
Okay, so fact 1, I'm part Austrian. Fact 2, I was born in Korea. And
Okay.
fact 3, I've moved 5 times.
Damn, son. Okay. You're a part
Austrian.
I was gonna do an Australian thing, and I realized you said Austrian, and I'm ashamed of myself. You've lived in Korea, and you've changed countries 5 times, or moved 5 times. Okay, guys, who wants to guess at that?
Can I ask a question?
You just did.
North or South Korea?
All right, some
No.
smart jack of North Korea. How did you escape the gulags of the North Korea? That would be amazing. Oh, that's so bad. Somebody here said I want number 4 to be true, which is another cop-out, you cheesy muppet. Oh, all right, okay. It has to be South Korea, right? So I want number 2 to be true. Alpha just dropped in and said he wants number 2 to be true. I want number 2 to be true as well. Go ahead. What about you guys? What about Phil, and what about Captain Toothless?
Saying Austrian.
You saying Austrian?
I'm gonna go 3. You look like, don't take this offensively. You look like a guy that's moved around. You look like a guy that's seen a lot of stuff.
You look like a nomad. You look like a gypsy. I mean, come on. You're living in a caravan right now. Come on. Don't take offense to that. Go on then. Surprise us, Finn.
I'm part Austrian.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's no
I've
fun.
moved 4 times, but not
Uh-huh.
5.
Not 5. And what was the Korea thing? You just threw that in randomly?
I just made that up.
You what? You
I
just
made
made that
that
up. All right.
Just made it up.
Just made that. Well, it was a good shot. Well done. All right, we're a little bit over time, guys. Thanks a lot for you guys joining us. We do have to wrap this up pretty quickly. I'm just going to double check with the Alpha if he's good to go. Alpha,
like me
are
to
you there with
introduce?
us? Oh, yes. Alpha, I'm just double checking. Don't come on the show just yet. Are you good to go, Mr. Jordan? He is good to go. We are passing the mic over to Uncle Life of Phil. Go right ahead. Introduce Alpha.
Everybody, please welcome to the stage for the Packcast, the Alpha.
I get chills. I've got goosebumps. Like, that's just, yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is really good, actually. Glenn's got one as well, and he was doing the CS:GO one. You know, that terrorist win. It's brilliant. I would genuinely want it. But no, the reason why I've come in today, peeps, is a bit of an announcement more towards Wolves operations. We have our own merch, and there is a lot of people that has applied for the merch program where they can start selling merch and using their own discount codes. Well, I'm glad to announce that it is now officially live. If you do have your own promo code or you've applied for the merch program, it's officially live. If you don't have one and you do want to have a discount, it is called WW Gaming, and you do get 5%, or you can use code Alpha and get 10%. It's up to you. So it's live. If you've got the code or you want to get the code, speak to your manager and apply for that, because then you can start making commission for each sale that's used with your discount code. But also, a nice little teaser for you. We do have a new shirt coming out very, very soon. It is an official jersey for us. I'll be back in 1 second.
Who's doing that in the background?
I don't know, who was that?
Who was
that? The official Wicked
Wolves. Look at that. That is sexy as anything, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And our sexy. The t-shirt's not bad too.
Yeah.
Go on, show you back. A little bit to the other side. There we go. Awesome.
Yeah.
We got it. That is gorgeous.
Now a little wiggle. No.
wiggle.
No. But these are going to retail at $19.99. Obviously, if you use code WW Gaming, you do get a 5% discount, and they will be officially on sale next week. So keep your eyes out for them. We will be keeping you updated on the Facebook, the YouTube, everything else. We'll be keeping you posted, and when they do get launched, check out Instagram as well. I will put a link to if you look down below there is all the socials. So go and check them out. But yeah, that's everything. More than anything.
Awesome.
So let's wrap it up, shall we, Zubair? We'll give them all an individual chance to promote themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
I'm the Bearded Viking. You can find me live on Facebook with the same name, Bearded Viking. I play various games. Like I said, Dark Souls, more recently Overwatch on the weekend. So come check me out.
Yeah, guys, you can come follow me on Twitch at CaptainToothless9. We're grinding some Warzone competition just now. Also, come to the gaming page on Facebook at Captain Toothless Gaming. We are going to be doing a tournament called the Toothless Tournament, going live on Wednesday, 9 o'clock. So come follow me there. Peace.
Yep, I'm Life of Phil. You can find me on every platform that there is: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all with that very unique name that is there, The Life of Me, The Life of Phil. Cheers.
I stream on Twitch at TempestX808, so drop me a follow and thank you.
Isn't he adorable? As you guys know, I am your host, the sexy man that I am, Big Z Bear over here, the other one. I don't do as much gaming as everybody else, but it'd be pretty cool to see you follow me on any of the platforms, Insta, Twitter, and Facebook. See you guys around.
Thank you very much. So, been an amazing podcast. Thank you very much to all the panelists. Thank you very much to everybody that has tuned in. If you are interested in potentially joining Wicked Wolves, there is, if you go to wickedwolvesgaming.co.uk or .com, .com, more like, there is an opportunity page on there as well where you can join us. There's different roles here, recruitment operator, tech support, competitive scout, you name it, it's all on there for you. So if you are interested in joining the Wolves, drop a message on the Facebook page or do go through the website. Thank you very much for this week, guys, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much.